If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
Oh, thank you. That's...
I'm to keep.
Most kind. Interesting. Interesting.
You have my thanks. You have my thanks.
Why, thank you so much.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure...
Enchantment? Enchantment!
Are you sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings? I'm sure you'll be pleased.
How nice. How nice.
Indeed. Yes.
Yes.
You? You're the warden? My family owes you. Any weapons I make, I will sell you for a discount. Indeed, I have spent my life studying steel, dragonbone, and more. I learned all I could in human lands, and exiled dwarves taught me more. Give me the finest metals and materials, and I can make wonders for you.
Welcome back, Warden. As you can see, we've been busy. Cleaned the place up a bit. Even my brother Mikhail came out of hiding. Never will you find a finer smith. Also, got some goods stored here that might interest you. Buy them now before my cousins move it all someplace else. I thought about it, but I figured that it's not a bad thing to believe that you come from a line of lions, even if the truth is a touch more complicated. Our family's belief that we were wronged, it gave us strength to make something of ourselves. King Arlen sounded like a right nasty piece of work. Sophia was branded a traitor. She consorted with blood mages, but in spite of it all, I think she was a hero. We've a big family. When you were away, we all pitched in. Hard to believe there were undead, demons, and worse around here, right? Certainly.
Darkspawn, destroy the fiends. This should be easy enough. On it.
That was interesting. And draining. I didn't know I could either. I called forth the spirit that sustains me, so that it could lend us aid. I did not realize it would take this much out of me. It seemed a good idea at the time, if a little rash. I think it may have weakened the spirit a little. Well, that's certainly conceivable. I suppose I shouldn't be using that particular trick to entertain children at parties. I promise I'll be careful. And thank you. Your concern is touching.
On it. Warden sent us something.
I think we work well together.
On it.
Most traders aren't allowed into Orzammar, so they just sort of gather near the doors. There's no laws up here at all, I'm told.
I've never seen an elf down here before.
I have contracts. They can't shut us out like this. How am I supposed to live with no crafts to sell?
They wait
I'll be
too long,
ruined.
trade won't come back. That's the way this works.
Can I interest you in something? I've got the finest selection of previously owned armor and weaponry this side of Val Royeaux. Why pay through the nose for new equipment when you can buy like new for much, much less? Oh, here and there. Look, that's really not important. The important thing is, it's cheap. And just as good as what you'd find at a smithy. Oh, of course. And remember, everything's covered by Farron's 24-hour lifetime guarantee.
Thank the Maker, my brother and his family made it out of Lothering. He said that the Darks... Greetings, milady.
They need a king to decide who buys clothes? This is
So
ridiculous.
tell me, was the Tower of Magi everything you thought it would be?
Abominations running rampant. Templars ready to slaughter every mage in sight. Yes, it rather met all my expectations.
You don't think you might have been better off getting your training there, instead of whatever your mother taught you?
You're right. My mother didn't nearly have as many abominations running about. That certainly would have improved my education.
I'll give you that one.
I'm so relieved.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzamar's lifeline, even if we're denied a caste. The Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone, but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites. Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
I await your command.
You're wasting your time. Only
How
dwarves
long?
are allowed into
Someone get them
Orzammar.
to tell me how long, because this is ridiculous.
King Loghain will not...
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
Who doesn't? If I don't get in, no one should.
Orzammar has no king. Endrin Iduken returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago, sick over the loss of his sons. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. You'll hear of this. King Loghain will see you quartered.
You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
A trust follow, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that
Those statues of dwarven paragons, if I remember right. The best of their ancestors.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Why do you always go on about how stupid I am? I'm not stupid, am I?
If you need to ask the question...
Because it hurts my manly feelings, you know. Or one of them.
Then I'll be sure to write you an apology once all of this is over.
I was educated by the Chantry. I studied history. They don't make stupid Templars.
Then I must have been mistaken. I'm very impressed.
No, you're not. You're not even listening to me.
My, you are smarter than you look after all. Your Chantry must have been very proud.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king! I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. I find that sonic fool, I'll have him in the Legion. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Yes, you should.
For a tiny people, they certainly build high ceilings.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in dark. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good Widow Vilda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. Of course. Keep in mind, we also take items on trade.
It's about time the Darkspawn started attacking the surface. They bothered us for far too long.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for.
Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Maker's blessing on you, sister. Ah, it's a great pleasure to meet a fellow believer. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. The Shaperid controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
This should be easy enough.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging. Then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Oh, my lady, it's an honor. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
Of course not. Haven't you read First Enchanter Cathalin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic? He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them. I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcasts. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
What's this? An elf? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today.
It'll be our business when we drag your corpse out. The Darkspawn have pulled back, but they are down there.
Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
The surface? But I thought the vermin never went up that far except to...
Except during blights. Ancestors save us if that's what's happening. Into the deep roads? Not without a full unit of soldiers to back you, my friend. Or Adesh's permission to risk yourself. Orzammar can't afford to lose its citizens or honored guests on casual visits to the deeps. Aye, for your sake, I hope you've no reason to come here again.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is
News of the hour! 3 more clans endorse Lord Harrowmont as the true voice of the Dwarven...
No offense, but I've often wondered how you... people get by with your awkwardly long limbs.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory. This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Lord Balin is the voice of change and defense. Lord Harrowmont is the voice of stagnation and ruin.
Who would dare take from the memory?
What's on your mind? It is...
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. Not exactly, but... I'm looking for any birth records from the old Orton Tig. It fell in the last blight, and my mother's family claims to be related. If I'm an Orton, it means I'm noble. I'd have my own house, a seat in the Assembly. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well. But it's possible this service could benefit our people. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
This should be easy enough.
Are you looking for records of the Grey Wardens? We have many.